Hello, everyone, and welcome to. We're back, but very most likely to my podcast. Who gave her a mic with Samantha Kaye? Oh, and my co-host Samantha Kaye. Hey, hey, girl. So today, okay. Let me just be completely transparent with you guys because this is a parasocial relationship. I say as if only my friends know about this podcast right now. Anyway, um I just want to be transparent with my fans. Um I've recorded two different versions of this second podcast episode and it just doesn't click. But I think this one is finally going to be the one that I'm going to post. Because I just like the first one was going to be okay, so one of them was going to be my House of Anubis video and the other one was going to be me retelling the Try Guys drama but like completely from memory. But I feel like those are topics that are most used to its potential, like full potential, with a guest. So later on down the line, if like I decide to have a guest on the podcast, that would be like the topic, because I feel like those topics would are just better off when you're like bouncing off of someone else. But I think this one can hold up with just me, like most things. So I'm gonna do this. But first, let me do that thing that people do in podcasts where they like, fill you in life. So three of the blonde pop girlies released an album on October something. Oh my god, I forgot to check. Oh my god, did it come? Is it here? Oh my god, I'm gonna have a panic attack. Is it here? Is it not here? Is it delayed? I'm gonna scream. No! No. My signed Taylor Swift CD isn't here. That's so terrible. If it gets lost in transit, I'm gonna sue Taylor Swift. I'm gonna sue her. Um, but yeah, three of the pop girlies decided to have a new album, and so it was Taylor Swift, it was uh Carly Rae Jepsen, and it was Megan Trainor, right? And okay, so here's like the rundown on my emotions, right? So um okay, let me just okay, no, yeah, okay. So I think I loved Carly Rae Jepsen's album was an automatic hit for me. I just really, really liked it. And then I thought that Megan Trainor's was like it was good. It was not like the best album I've heard all day. Or like all year or like ever. But like it was good. It was good. It was just wasn't as good as Carly Rae Jepsen's in my opinion. But I feel like if you're really a Megan Trainor head, uh, uh a Megan trainee. Um, I feel like you'd really like the album. But like I bopped, like I found myself shaking ass, like I can have my Gucci on. Um, but I'm also like a Carly Rae Jepsen appreciator, entrepreneur, not entrepreneur, no, connoisseur, a racist, if you will, and I just like I loved it. What happened was we reached the moon, but lost in space. I think we got there way too soon. But you know what? I'm coming back for you, baby. Such a good album. I got a beach house in Malibu, and I'm probably gonna hurt your feelings. But like, oh, it's because I think she really like, she heard cut, she said, and that's a wrap. And she heard no. No, I don't know. Oh, I didn't think that joke through, so I couldn't give it the punchline it deserved. Just know it did really good. But then like Midnight's was a roller coaster of emotions for me because at first I was kind of like, It's okay. Like, not to be a hater, but it's alright. And then, like, no, I was like, to be a hater, I didn't like this. And it wasn't like I expected it to be like a Folklore Evermore like other people. Though I've just explained it to some people that I thought I was gonna be like one. That's not like exactly like my emotions. I felt like it was just gonna be a little bit more Evermore esque. I still thought it was gonna be a pop album. I just didn't know. I just like, and then like the way that it was like marketed as like this like revolutionary, body changing, lyrical genius, and I'm just like me, like me. Like I was so tired. I mean, I also was really tired because I stayed up till like 12 on my like last day of quarantine to to listen to this album. So I was already like tired, sick, like sick, tired. Like, you know, when you're like tired and you're sick, like that was like that was how I was feeling. So, oh my god, no, because me and my friend Chris, we we were like reacting with each other, not like with each other, but like we were like live texting each other, and we're like, this is kind of a flop. But then like we went to sleep, woke up to the 3 a.m. edition, and we're like, our feet are tapping. Literally the next day, we're like, yeah, this album's actually pretty good. I mean, it wasn't like, I don't think it was our favorite album ever to exist from her. But like it had some bangers, like I feel the lavender haze creeping up on me. Meet me at midnight. Um, Carmen is my boyfriend. Carmen is a god. Carmen is the breeze in my hair on the weekend. Carmen's a relaxing thought. Aren't you envious that for you it's not sweet like honey? Carmen is a cat. I mean, some of her lyrics are corny, like like draw a cat eye sharp enough to kill a man. Sometimes I feel like everybody is a sexy baby. No, okay, but okay. My favorite songs off of um Midnight has to be like Karma, Mastermind, Lavender Haze, Would Have, Could Have, Should Have. Oh my god, Would Have, Could I could make an entire podcast episode, obviously with a guest, about Would Have, Could Have, Should Have and the Taylor Swift ex-boyfriend verse with some female guest appearances in the love like story of Taylor Swift. But like, okay, I'm not a Gaylor. No. Okay, I'm not anti-gay. Like, if she came out as some form of queer, I wouldn't be like opposed to it. But I just feel like it's the same way with the way that I feel about Larry's back in One Direction time, because I just think it's like gross and weird to speculate about someone's sexuality, and everyone's like, oh, well, people just assume people are straight, and I don't like that either, but like, I'm not an idiot. That's just the way that the world is. That's how the world works. And like, I'm not like being like she has to be straight because she's only ever dated men. I just don't think that it's my right as a fan and not someone who knows her personally to be like, yeah, she. I don't care what she said, even though she has said explicitly that she is straight. I don't care. I still think that she's like, it's like some people are just afraid to be like. I've never seen, especially in people with platforms, I've never seen speculating someone's sexuality ultimately be a good thing for that celebrity. Remember Dan and Phil? Dan refused to come out until like years later. By the time but when his YouTube channel was like in a coma. Like, and it was because like not only was he like dealing with his own sexuality, it's just like people were just like, assuming shipping things like that doesn't like not like when you're already struggling with your sexuality, the last thing you want is people speculating and having their eyes on it. And like, if you want to have your personal theories, fine, but do not make that your entire personality. I think it's disgusting and I think it's weird. Um, now that I've gotten off my moral high ground, um, I just don't think Midnight is her best album. I just do think it's good though. Um, oh my god, one way my friend Chris described it was like it like when we first listened to it, it was the way that we thought that like Harry's house was gonna be like. Like when I first heard Harry's house, like in retrospect, I don't honestly okay. I ranked it really high in like Harry Styles albums a few weeks ago, but like in retrospect, it's not his best album. Everyone knows it's HS1. Um, but like it's it was like when I first heard it, I was just like, I loved every single part of it. And that's how I expected to react to Midnight's, but then it was like reversed. So that was like weird. Oh my god, okay. The the Bejeweled music video, Slay by the way, had um Vita, right? I think it's Vita. Vita. No, it's not Vita. Shoot. It had that very famous burlesque um performer. Dita Von Teese, thank you. Dita Von Teese was in it. Ugh, what a slay. I love her. She was one of the first women to speak up against Marilyn Manson. Boo, Marilyn Manson, you suck. She she's so very body positive. She's like she thinks like that's why when she made her vintage lingerie line, she was like she made sure to have a pretty extensive, at least for the time, and now it's really extensive, but like an extensive line of sizes because she thinks that honestly that the vintage style looks better on curvier women because they can fill out the curves of the aesthetic more. And honestly, such a slay. She's just so iconic. And people were like, oh my god, there's gonna be a Harry and Taylor collab. And as much as I love a Harry and Taylor collab, fun fact, um, like the like martini glass routine is like her thing. She's known for that. She really like with that routine, she revived burlesque into the modern world. Um and just because she was in Don't Worry Darling and in the music video does not mean that they're gonna have a collab. Like I said, as much as I'd love a collab, like I want them to be like, whoa, we committed vehicular manslaughter. Oh, ooh, that's another video. That is another podcast I can totally do. An entire podcast on the vehicular manslaughter theory. OMG. Anyway, I I feel the lavender haze. Oh, sorry. Okay, so today's topic. Let me finally get to today's topic. I'm so sorry. Today's topic. Let me just put my microphone on my lap. I'm on my bed again. I feel like I'd only record this on my bed as long as there's no guests. So today's topic is gonna be me ranking fan fiction tropes, and I feel like I can do this because I think I know fan fiction tropes more than I know myself, honestly, and I just feel like who better. And I'm just using like a pre-made fan fiction tropes tier list. It's literally look up fan fiction tropes tier list on um on Google, and it'll be the first tier maker tier list that shows up. A bunch of YouTubers have used it, and I just feel like since I'm so great and amazing, I have more. I just have something to add to the conversation. So obviously, I changed the name of each tier. So we're gonna start from the very, very bottom, and it's clutching my pearls and getting a restraining order. So that's the very bottom because like to each their own, I know. But like if I know you like this trope, or if I ever like this trope, gun. Like, please end it for me. Like, I don't want to be on this earth if I like these tropes. I don't want to be near you if you like these tropes. I'm getting a restraining order. I'm clutching my pearls. I'm a auntie that went to Sunday mass and saw someone wearing flip-flops. Like, no. Um Next up from clutching my pearls and getting a restraining order is okay. So okay is kind of like this is not for me, but like to each their own, but like literally to each their own. Like, I'm a bit worried like to be near you and worried for you if you like this, but like I'm not gonna like go through the legal issue, like the legal trouble of like restraining ordering you. And then like our very middle ground, like our C tier, our solid C tier is not a slay, but not a flop. And I think that's just like the best way to describe that. Like, no English word. There's literally no English word that can describe this mediocre feeling of like a solid C tier um like trope. Not a slay, but not a flop. Next up is blue orbs. So blue orbs, if you don't know, which I don't know how you wouldn't know, I mean, obviously if you've never really read fanfiction, you wouldn't know blue orbs, but blue orbs, okay, so like 2010 like to like 2016, I think, um fanfiction writers were like obsessed with using the word orbs instead of eyeballs or eyes for some reason. Like, you're writing the nastiest, worst written, like pearl clutching fan fiction about the actor, the like one of the boys from The Outsiders. Like, you're not like no one actually thinks you're like this scholar just because you use the word orbs instead of eyes. But even though that's corny and so dumb, it's still iconic. But its iconicness doesn't like negate how corny it is, but it kind of just like brings it to a little bit above um just brings it a little bit above like mediocre because like the like genre of fanfiction, like fanfiction as a whole, would not be what is now if it wasn't for like wording like blue orbs. Like, if we didn't, like, oh my gosh, it would be like the most like toe curling, like dog kicking, like as in like feet kicking, dogs kicking, like toe curling type like fanfic, and it'll be like the distance between the moon and stars. Like, why did we think we were so deep? Literally, we were just writing like elaborate ways to make YN get kissed by Niall Horn or something. Um, our A tier is earth shattering. It's great. It's amazing. I love it. It's just something that you have to have. Like, you have it as a treat because you love yourself. But our S tier, oh, our S tier is I'd sell my daughter to One Direction. And okay, the trope of selling your daughter to One Direction is so crazy. The girl who first wrote the very first I sold my daughter to blank is a genius. It's so dumb, it's so crazy, and it has made an impact on an entire generation. Even if you didn't read fan fictions, you've heard the joke of I sold my kid to One Direction if you've like tasted a second the One Direction fandom. And if you were next to a girl reading fan fiction on the bus, guess what? It was probably I sold my daughter to One Direction fanfic. It's just like the best. And like, you need it in your life. You need it to breathe. If you are dying, you don't need a defibrillator. You need you need this trope. So let's get started. Because we're what, at the 20-minute mark now? Almost at the 20-minute mark? Anyway, so we're gonna start off with the very first. Ooh. Oh, oh no, oh my god, we're starting off with a strong one. ABO fan fiction. So if you don't know what I'm gonna explain most of these, okay? Some of these are self-explanatory, but I feel like some of them need to be explained, and I feel like ABO might be something that needs to be explained. So ABO fan fiction stands for Alpha, Beta, Omega. It is a Omega verse fan fiction. Okay, so hear me out. No, 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 okay, 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 okay. I do not read actively ABO fanfictions. I do not consume the Omegaverse. But, when you were in a Twilight phase and you search up like vampire and werewolf fanfiction, it's a slippery slope if you click on a werewolf or werewolf adjacent fan fiction. It is a very slippery slope that you start reading it and then you're like halfway through the book and you're like, wait a minute, this is an alpha beta omega um story. Like, it's a very slippery slope. So because of that, I feel like I have to put it in not a slay but not a flop. Cuz like I just feel like that makes sense. It's not a slay, but it's not a flop because it's a very middle place. Like some of them are so it's like weird. It's like you need a restraining order from someone, but also like the really really good ABO one, like they're like good. So like I think that cancels each other out. So it gets like solid C. I was starting off strong. Next up is an amnesia fic. So an amnesia fic is kind of like one or all, like as many characters, blah blah blah. They have amnesia, and because of the amnesia, they like you either have to re-fall in love with someone, um, the person you were with before tries to get you to fall back in love with them, but then there's another person who's helping you with the trauma being like amnesiaed, and there's like a love arrow, a love triangle. Um, First of all, okay, can I just say no? I'll get to it when we get to love triangle because I'm pretty sure it's on this list. Um, Amnesia fix. I'm ooh oh. I fear that I'm gonna have to put it in not a slay but not a flop because honestly I don't think like personally I've never read a good amnesia fic. Maybe I just don't know where I'm looking. Maybe I should have gotten off Wattpad earlier than I did. Cause ooh, I'm an AO3 and Wattpad girl. I use them interchangeably, but I prefer Wattpad because the comment sections are always the funniest thing. Like if a comedian needs like a comedic, like they need comedic, like they need like comedic input. They need like not experience. They need comedic inspiration. They should go to a uh like any fanfic. I was gonna be like trying to name one. No, any fanfic. Um, People are so funny there. It's crazy. So maybe all of the good ones were hidden on like fanfiction.net and like AO3, things like that. But none of them were good on Wattpad that I saw. Next up is an angst fic. I feel like you can tell what an angst fic is. It's just angsty for like no reason, and honestly, it's giving blue or orbs. It's a good solid B to me because like especially when I was like in middle school, everything was angsty to me. My life was angsty. My grades are angsty. My love for boy bands, but at the same time saying I was emo and hated pop music was angsty. Like nothing about me was chill. So I felt like when I wanted a fan fiction, I either wanted it to be like inappropriately explicit or like complete fluff or funny. I did not need more angst in my life, especially because I wrote angsty fan fiction. That sound was me slapping my face. I like my mouth. Like I wrote angsty fan fiction and I deleted it off the face of the earth, and I I I just hope I hope no one has read any of them because they were terrible. I like I didn't know what fentanyl was in middle school. Weird, right? I didn't know what fentanyl was, but I'd be lying if I said that Harry Potter was not doing it. Oh my god. I'd be lying if I said that Harry Potter was not doing fentanyl. Um and I think that's a solid blue orbs. Like even though I didn't like them personally, everyone everyone knew a good everyone knew how angsty fan even if the fiction the fan fiction itself wasn't an angsty fan fiction, there was a level of angst there and it's just so good. I think I'm more of a angst in real books than an angst in fan fiction. Because I don't know if I said this yet, because I literally forget what I say sometimes, but I don't like celebrity fan fiction. I don't like them. Which is shocking because I used to read a lot of One Direction fan fictions, but I'm not a big fan of um real people fan fiction because I think it's just so weird to sexualize someone that you don't know and can't consent to it. So how I think of how I thought started to think about it in middle school, because I really wanted to read after because everyone else was reading after. I thought of it as, instead of it being the celebrity, it's a character that's being played by the celebrity. So the way that people would fan cast people in their on their in their stories for Wattpad. And that kind of lifted a weight off my shoulder because it was like, oh no, I'm not crossing a boundary with the celebrity. I'm crossing a boundary with a fictional character that so happened to look like the celebrity. Perfect loophole. And yeah, that's why I didn't yeah. Anyway, next up is arranged marriage. Let me double check real quick. Let me see something before I say it, cuz I don't know, I am about to be like, "Oh, I love this." And then the other one is there. Is for okay. The one I'm looking for is forced proximity, cuz I love a good forced proximity. No, I don't think it's there. Ooh, it's not there, but okay. So I'm gonna go, okay, arranged marriage. It has to be done a certain way for me. It can't be society forced me. I my I do love a um I'm a mafia daughter, and I'm betrothed to another mafia family's son, and we fall in love. I love a good this marriage benefits you, this marriage benefits me, let's lie and be married for a year or whatever. I like a good um as long as it's not crazy patriarchal, and it has to be a good level of angst. I do love a good. So I think, okay, despite how much I love a a well done arranged marriage, I feel like another trope in this list describes it better. So I'm just gonna put arranged marriage into a high, not a sleigh, but a bop. I mean, but not a flop. Um, because I just feel like that's a better place to put it. Okay, first of all, why can't I pick it up? My iPad's glitching out. It's being really mean right now. I can't do anything. Come on. Okay. I'll just say I moved it there, and I'll just keep it in the back of my mind. So it's in blue orbs. Next up is body swap. Ooh, automatic. Okay. I hate a body swap. But like I understand why you'd like a body swap. Like Freaky Friday was a good movie. The one with Lindsay Lohan, not the first one and not the third one. I like the Lindsay Lohan one because it's get out, don't wanna grow up, I wanna get out. Hey, take me away. Don't wanna shout out, take me away, away. Oh, it's so good. But in fan fiction, do not like it. So sorry. But you know what? If you like it and you found some ones that worked for you, snaps to you. It's going to okay for me. Okay. Next up is sharing a bed. I I feel so strongly about sharing a bed. It's so stupid. It's so corny. It's like, oh, sorry, your reservation mixed up your hotel. The reservation mixed up the hotel. The only one left is a shared bed. You're in a fake relationship and you have to share a bed because they didn't like what, you don't want to sleep together, like, oh no we are because we're in love. Like I love oh my god, especially if okay, oh my god, the scenarios that can come from a sharing a bed one. The we put a border between us with a pillow, but then we somehow find ourselves in each other's arms. The one of them has a really bad nightmare and they have to soothe them back to sleep. The oh my god, there's just the possibilities are endless. And because of that, sharing a bed just has it has the star power. It has what it takes to become America's Next Top Model. Like it really does. Like it's just so good. It's just so good. There you go. Boom. I'd sell my daughter to One Direction for that. Like if they're like, "Hi, we're interested in your daughter, the one with the messy bun and the cardigan. Um and in exchange we'll give you the best sharing a bed scene." And I'll be like, "Okay, yeah, let me just sign the papers." Oh, automatically clutching my pearls and getting a restraining order. And like, no, okay, I'll put it in okay, because I'm not gonna say that out loud. I'm not gonna say that out loud. It's baby fic, okay? I'm gonna put it okay. I hate babies. So sorry, cry about it. Like the fucking baby. Um, I, cause okay, baby fics are different from pregnancy fics. And the difference is a baby fic means that the baby is there from the very beginning. So you're a single mother and the love interest steps up. The love interest is a single parent and you step up. Um you're a group of friends and then someone leaves a baby at your door, at your like your room, like the house or apartment that all your roommates are sharing, and then you all decide to take care of the baby, a la um a la Megamind in the jail when all the prisoners decided to raise Megamind. Like I don't like it. Mm-mm. I just feel like the baby, like mm-mm. What are you doing trying to find love? The kid needs diapers. Like, please stop. Please stop. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Like, I am 13 years old. I don't want to, like, when I'm pretending to be the main character, I do not want to be like, I'm in love. I'm in love with Harry Styles, but I have to take care of this kid and buy it Pampers. Like, I can't do that. Ooh. A coffee shop AU. Coffee shop AUs. Wait, let me see if I can move it. I can move it arranged marriage now. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I'm gonna put it in not a slate, but a flop. But not a flop, right? Okay. So coffee shop AUs. A coffee shop AU will have to go in not a sleigh, but not a flop. Because when I first heard, ooh, coffee shop, because I love a good coffee shop, like, meet cute in, like, movies. But, like, when it comes to fan fictions, I'm kind of just, like, neutral about it. It's like not bad, it's not good. I'm not like actively seeking it out, but like I'm not like actively like avoiding it. And I think the reason why is cuz like how many stories do we have to read about the barista main girl who only drinks her coffee black, judges all the customers who likes putting oat milk in their coffee. Like stop being a hater. Stop. Stop it. Anyway, the next one is bang or die. I feel like y'all know. I think y'all know what a bang or die fic is. I think it's a little self-explanatory, but I'll explain it. A bang or die fic is kind of like a you have to end up together, physically, and or the world's gonna end. And I'm gonna be honest, earth shattering. I can live without it. I wouldn't sell my daughter for it, but it is earth shattering because when it is done right, it makes up for every single time it was done wrong. It's just so toe curling. It's like I'm kicking my feet up in the ground and like up on the bed. Like ooh, oh my god! Like it's so good. Like it's crazy how like hard it hits because it's not like you're like trapped in like a room a la Saw and you have to bang or you won't get the key to escape the room. It's just like people find the most creative ways to do a bang or die and it's just so good. It's just so good. I love a college AU. Oh my god. Oh oh my god. One of my I couldn't find it anymore cuz I like some point in like high school I did a complete clearing of my high school Wattpad library. But I had this like it was my favorite. It was a Niall Horan college AU. And it was frat boy Niall and she wasn't popular, but she wasn't a nerd. Um, but like her friends force her to go to a frat party, and then Niall Horn just becomes like obsessed with like wanting her. And at first, she thinks it's gonna be like a prank, but like he like genuinely like it's so good. Oh my god, it was like it took me for turns. It was so good. But yeah, a college AU, I just feel like especially in my grown age of 21. I know I'm elderly. Oh my god. I'm like decrepit. I'm like so close to the deathbed. Um I I just feel like I can't like high school AUs anymore because of like the type of fan fictions I usually read. I love a good college AU. I love a good scene where she's talking about how she's struggling to keep up with rent and buy her school books um and like pay off her debts, and he's like, just take my money, just please take my money, please, I love you and I need you to take my money. I'm so sorry, I know you don't like this, but please take my money. Like, oh, it's so good. And you know what, that is exactly why I'd sell my daughter to One Direction for this. It's just I feel like with college AUs, there's like this level of slay to it. Like there's a level of like respect to it, cause like cause when you're in college, you know you're not an adult, but compared to when you were a high schooler, people treat you like one, and it's like such a weird like limbo piece of like time for people because like you like want to take yourself seriously, but you also like don't want to lose your youth too quickly like you were in high school. Like you don't want to become the like last year's news. Ooh, okay. Next up is a crack fic. So a crack fic is kind of like off the rails, like things that would happen in your delusional past bedtime brain would happen, and I feel like it's got to be a blue orbs because I feel like the internet wouldn't be what it is now if it weren't for like the crazy crack fix, kind of like the I'd sell my daughter to One Direction and then from there it's just weird and crazy. Like that's like the type of stuff I feel like it's a blue orbs type thing. Like it's like a high blue orbs because I think fan fiction wouldn't be fan fiction if it weren't for like the crazy like on AO3 like the tag names are so funny. Like how do people come up with these tags? And I don't know, it's just I think it's so funny. Like, what do you mean he got hit by a car and then a musical started playing? Excuse me? It's so good. Next up is a crossover fiction. And hmm, okay. 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 It depends because um those like those Elsa and Jack Frost ones were like me. Like I was like everyone was like, "Oh my god, it works." Because like they look like they'd be a good couple. What? Because they're both white with like the palest platinum blonde hair. That doesn't make them that doesn't make them a good couple. That makes them look like they're siblings. Like, oh, and they both have ice powers. Really? Okay. And I have a stuffed animal addiction. Does that mean I have to like fall in love with the son of a toy shop owner? Ooh, actually that sounds like a really good fiction. That sounds like a really good story. Oh my god. Anyway, um but like it's I feel like there'd be good ones. Like it was like if it was one of those like what if these two characters actually end up fight like if I never really found a good one like one that like really meshed well writing wise, but like I really like I searched high and low for a really good Harry Potter versus Percy Jackson fight because I just know that Percy Jackson would win. Like, oh, okay, Harry Potter, you can what? Speak snake? He's the son of a god. He's part god. He can control the ocean. He heals from touching any form of water. Harry Potter Harry Potter can't even see without glasses. Like, come on. One's half god, one literally wears circle glasses. Like, please. One's from the city. One's from New York City, the other one's from England. And you expect me to think that Harry Potter was gonna win? Please. So I think crossover is gonna have to go to not a sleigh but not a flop. Because I feel like there are people who really like that type of stuff, but I just feel like personally have not seen any really really good ones. Oh my. We have a dark fic, dark Harry fan fictions. Please. Oh, I really wanted to get into like Dark Nile fan fictions because I was a Nile girl, right? I really wanted to get into dark Kevin Jonas ones because I was a Kevin Jonas girl. But there's something about the Harry girls that just knew how to write a good dark Harry fanfiction. Stall? Absolution? What's the name of that one that got really popular? That literally spawned a trend on TikTok. Take a look at my girlfriend. Oh yeah, that TikTok trend where people were posting their like girlfriends to Breakfast in America by gym class here. Take a look at my girlfriend. She's the only one I got. Nah, nah, nah. That was because of this fan fiction. Let me see if I can find it. Ooh, I still have Wattpad. Oh my god. That's so crazy. Anyway, let me see what it's called. It was called Social. Ooh. Ooh. Resolution is another one. Decode was one of those dark hair. Stall I already said. No Grey Streets of Soft Harry fanfic. Where is it? Duplicity! Duplicity! Everyone was obsessed with duplicity, and I was kind of just like, I get it, but I also don't. Like, I get it, but I also don't. So, sorry, I'm texting a friend. Um, yeah, it was just oh my god, like where are you going with this? Like, I think it's like like it has to happen. Like I don't think there's any way to like put this anywhere else without literally being the most wrong person in this world on this planet in existence. A dark fiction, especially like if it's like a member of a band, it has to I'd have to sell my daughter for it. Like okay. Well, okay. Absolution is my favorite Dark Harry fic. But like the thing with Absolution is that like not all of it is like my thing cuz like some parts of it I was kind of like, "Oh, okay." Like, uh-huh. Okay. Okay. But like it was just oh, I'd give anything to be one of those girls who like read celebrity fan fictions through and through. I could never finish them. The only one I genuinely finished that was long was After, all three Afters. Oh my gosh. When he was writing a book the entire time, when he when it was a bet the entire time, I oh god, the anger in my heart. Anyway, next up is major character death. See, I don't like a good. I don't. Okay. I wouldn't say I don't like it. I honestly. I don't hate a major character death. I feel like they have to have. Like, there's no real stakes if not one character dies. But, like, also, if you're an author, you should, like, be able to, like, gauge which one will affect readers enough, but also won't get your haters to actually hate you. Like, some deaths are super unnecessary. Like, please use your common sense. Like, please. Like, ooh, like when Rick Riordan killed off Jason. I didn't read that book, but like when he killed him off, enough people were sad and like heartbroken and it was effective, but like it also like at the end of the day, though it sucked, we didn't care that much. And that's like the perfect balance. So I think I'm gonna have to give a major character death blue orbs. Like I feel like it's like a pillar of it. Like everyone like if you're like in like the fandom of a specific fan fiction, which is crazy that fan fictions have complete like big fandoms. If you're like in the fandom of a fan fiction, and everyone's reading it at the same time, update to update, everyone, everyone is like, oh my god, I can't believe she killed them off. Like, oh my god, like I get it. Like, ooh, it's good, but like it's personally not for me, so that's why I have to put it in blue orbs, not earth shattering. Because earth shattering would be a lie to my truth. And my truth is what's important because it's my podcast. If you want to put in earth shattering, if you want to put it an S tier or A tier, you know what? Make your own tier list. Because guess what? This is mine. Canon Divergence has to be. It's not like my like I wouldn't sell my daughter for it. And I don't think it's earth shattering, but I think it's like borderline earth shattering and like top blue orbs, because I feel like Canon Divergence is what a fanfiction is. Actually, I'll put it in low earth shattering. So Canon Divergence, I feel like a fanfiction isn't a fanfiction without a Canon Divergence. Like um there are obviously fan fictions that like are supposed to be like a continuation like after the books, but most of the time people don't go for that. And I feel like a good fanfiction will diverge from the canon a little bit, because sometimes when an author is writing a certain like storyline for a long time, or they're listening to the ear of the editor, they kind of forget to like look into like what the fandom might be thinking about a certain thing. So they may not like notice that, oh, maybe that shouldn't have been how a story goes or whatever. So obviously they're gonna, like sometimes fan fictions, like I read, okay, because Sunny with a Chance got canceled. I read a Sunny with a Chance fan fiction where like it like patched up everything and it tied everything in a beautiful little bow, and I was like so into it. I was like, this is exactly what I was asking for. Thank you so much. So this is great. So yeah, I think a canon divergence is so slay and the best thing to happen in the world. Enemies to lovers. Oh. Mhm. So there's a certain thing though. Okay. So are they like enemies? Enemies? Like is this like okay? Because there's like levels to it. Are they a war criminal? If one of them's a war criminal, you cannot convince me that they love someone. So sorry. But also like obviously sometimes like enemies to lovers is good. A good enemies to lovers could also be like, oh, BT dubs, one of them has been in love with the other the entire time and they just didn't know it. Or the love hit them and they didn't even know they were in love until it was too late, or something like that. Like it has to be like a good little balance. Like it can't be like too crazy. You know? Do you understand me? Are you getting the vibe? Just double checking. So next, oh no, I didn't even put enemies to lovers on. Enemies to lovers is earth shattering, high earth shattering. But tragically, I don't think I could sell my. I don't think I could or would sell my daughter. I don't think I would have, could have, or should have sold my daughter for an enemies to lovers. As much as I think people would be like, "What do you mean?" Um, I have like I have like certain like specifications to enemies to lovers that would like make it a different trope, if you get what I mean. Next up is established relationship. I think this is gonna be rather controversial, but I think it's like a low earth shattering established relationship, because like yeah, people like the building to a care like to a relationship, but like sometimes a good fan fiction can explore the trials and tribulations of being in the relationship itself. Staying in the relationship, building a trust in the relationship, losing trust in the relationship. Um, B plot, a good B plot can be a pre existing relationship. Like, I don't think people realize like the power a pre existing relationship can have on a story. But I can't say a lot about it because there's nothing really exciting about it. But I do really think it's an earth shattering thing. Because if it's not gonna, okay, sorry, I'm like adjusting and it's like bothering you probably. Like, if the person can't write a good established relationship story, the chances are the type of person wouldn't have tried to make an established relationship story. The type of people who would write an established relationship story, like the people who are already in a relationship and they know where this is going, they're gonna write it well. But if they're not gonna write it well, they weren't gonna attempt it in the first place. Does that make sense to you? Just making sure, because like I don't like make sense sometimes, but also I make the most sense in the world, so I don't go. I don't get why people like don't understand me. I'm like, yeah. Anyway, next up is a fairy tale AU. Mm-hmm. Like, are they fairies? Like, are they, or is it like a fantasy AU? Is that a different thing? Are these different things? There's a royalty AU, a Aaron, fairy tale AU. Would it be like, ooh, okay, so this could mean many things. Could it be like a fairy tale retelling, but instead of like Romeo and Juliet, it's Harry Styles and YN? Oh my god, Harry Styles and YN would be so slay. Anyway, honestly, I like a good AU. I love a good AU. Mm, this is tough. I think I'm gonna put it in Blue Orbs. Controversial, I know, but I think it's just a Blue Orbs type of story. Like, I don't think it's like earth shattering. I also don't think I'd sell my daughter for one, but like, I don't think it's like bad. It's like alright. It's like okay. It's like bearable. But overall, I just don't think it's like that impressive. You know? Like everyone can think about fairies and rainbows and and unicorns, but sometimes you just no, I'm not. I don't. These aren't monetized, but like I don't think I want to be saying that. Oh my god. Anyway, next up is fake. Oh, I don't even. Okay, let me place this where it belongs real quick. And I'd sell my daughter to One Direction for a fake relationship. Oh, to all the boys I loved before. That one fan fiction I wrote in middle school. That one fan fiction that I read in middle school. Oh my days. I love a good fake relationship. Mhm. The you have to marry me. I want to become partner and you will get marriage benefits. You from my my law firm, and it'll look good on me if I have a wife because they I need a level of maturity that they think they don't see in me, but I'm mature. I just and in reality he just like really wanted to be with her. Oh my god, they're just so good. Like sometimes people don't realize how amazing a fake relationship. Oh my god, like you don't get it. When I read To All the Boys I Loved Before, I read To All the Boys I Loved Before. I read them once in like middle school or something like that in like 5th grade, right? And then I completely forgot about them. And then the trailer for the first movie came out, and I became obsessed. I became a Love fan. I listened to the album that I Like Me Better came from nonstop. Paris in the rain, like Paris in the rain. Oh, that's not the lyrics. That's not the lyrics, but like Paris in the rain was a good song. Um, like I became a huge fan, a huge one. It was earth shattering. But it was more than earth shattering. I would sell my daughter to One Direction. Ugh, it was so good. Anyway, next up is a fix it fic. A fix it fic is kind of like a canon divergence, but its like main priority is to fix something that the entire fan base did not like that the author did. So I think I'm going to replace canon divergence with fix it fic and put canon divergence into blue orbs, like mid blue orbs. Because I feel like I would prefer a fix it fix than a complete canon divergence. Because the reason why I like the story in the first place and the characters is because I like the story. Like some parts, like I like the canon, but like some parts of it would need fixing. Sorry. Sorry. Trigger warning. I'm cracking my neck. But you didn't see it. I think for some people it's a visual thing. Because, like, they can crack their knuckles just fine and they'll be like, okay, yeah, whatever. But, like, the second it's your neck, it's like, oh my god, you're gonna snap your neck. Like, shh. Shh. Oh my god, imagine I started telling you that I taste blood because I cracked my neck. Oh my god. That'd be mean. Anyway, next up is a fluff fic. A fluff fic. Oh, that's so weird. I have nothing in clutching my pearls and getting a restraining order yet. I feel like I feel like I'll have one there though. I mean, I can't tell, but I think I should have one coming up. Or did I miss one? Did I misplace one? I misplaced one. Body swap supposed to go to clutching my pearls and getting a restraining order. I think it's predatory and gross, honestly. Because a lot of the times the situation for a body swap is that it's you're swapped into the body of either like a sibling, a friend, a really close friend, or someone that you're romantically interested in. And it's always like it's like, "Oh my god, please stop looking at my tits." It's like it's my body now. Like or it's like a sister swapping into the body of um a sister swapping into the body of her other sister and now she's like hooking up with her boyfriend. Like it's always ugh. It's like it's a level of effed up that I'm not here for. Next up is a fluff fic. Hmm. I feel like a fluff fic I would say it's earth shattering, but when a fluffic, I just get bored. So I think it's gonna be blue orbs. It's like not bad. I just don't think like there's not enough good in my heart. Like I'm a bad person. Like there's not enough good in my heart to like want to seek out a fluffic. So that's gonna have to go down. Oh this is the controversial one. It's Friends to Lovers, and Friends to Lovers, I'd sell my daughter to One Direction. I love a good Friends to Lovers. Like there's I like the slow burn angst of a Friends to Lovers more than I love the slow burn angst of a Enemies to Lovers because if it was Rivals to Lovers, that'd be a completely different story. But we're talking enemies. I mm, 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 mm. Cause I know it's like the fine line between love and hate, but like what about what about helping a friend um get ladies or get guys and then realizing that you love them the entire time? What's wrong with a little bit of with a little bit of I love him, but every day I'm learning all my life. Oh, that's me at like 50%. I'm so sorry I started singing. So sorry I started singing. That was so awkward. Anyway, all my life I've only been pretending. I love theater. Anyway, I love it. Sorry. But when the night is over, sorry. Um, yeah, I just think a good friends to lovers will always beat a good enemies to lovers. The same way that a bad friends to lovers will always beat a bad enemies to lovers, because there's like a level of weight that has to happen. Like I can't have them be enemies and then the second they like are in close proximity with each other they decide they're in love. Like ugh, just like me 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 me. But when they're friends there's the level of oh my god, I don't want to ruin what we have. There's a level of but what if he sees me as like a family member? Like there's like ooh. I am so sorry. I thought that was a silent one, so I let it out. And I'm so sorry. Was that so gross? Are you logging off now? I'm so sorry. Don't worry. There's like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21. I thought it was like 5 more. Okay. Okay. I'll try to speed through them because we're at the hour mark. I'm so sorry. A general fic. Ooh, I think you guys know what a general fic. It's just like a normal fan fiction. I'm gonna put it in okay. And I know that seems harsh. Like, okay, really? Like not even like a not a slay but not a flop. Like I don't get general fics. Like if you are reading a general fic, just ask the author, just rally for the author to write a sequel series or like a follow-up book, an extended epilogue. Like I just don't get it. Like unless you're like okay, I feel like the only reasonable way like reasons to read fan fiction is if you're looking for smut, looking for like cute little feelings in your stomach, you're looking for a rivalry, you're looking for a battle. But like a general fiction, like please shut up. Like oh my god, you're so pretentious. This is fan fiction. What do you mean you want to just read about Harry Styles being in One Direction? Tomatoes, throwing tomato. Like, be fucking for real. Like, are you kidding me? Mm-hmm. A hurt comfort? Oh. Mm-hmm. I'd sell. No. No. Yes? Yes. I'd sell my daughter to One Direction for a hurt comfort. I love. Ooh. Oh my god. Picture this. No, wait, let me. Picture this. It's thundering outside your castle. You can't fall asleep. You can't help but think. No, that was just a maid outside your door, clearing out all the torches. You decide to grab a candle next to your bed, make your way down to the kitchen, grab yourself a glass of water. Mm, maybe all I need is a drink of water to help me go to sleep. Making your way downstairs, you think about that terrible nightmare that you had. Do I really feel this way? Making your way into the kitchen, grabbing some water from the fountain, you see a silhouette at the back door of the kitchen. It's him. What are you doing here? He grunts, staying where he is. What are you doing here? You say, getting closer. The closer and closer you get to him, you see that he's covered in wounds, slashes all around his body, covered in blood. He's clutching at his chest. Don't come any closer, he says. You're hurt. Don't come any closer. Why did you come here then? Your father said it'd be safe. You talked to your father. You didn't expect that. But he's hurt. As much as he's hurt you, you can't leave him in this condition. Sit down. Please, don't make me force you. Reluctantly, he makes his way over to the counter, sits atop it, waiting for your instruction. You reach into the cabinet and grab a towel, soaking it in the water you were once going to drink. You tend to his wounds. What happened to you? Like, that's so good, right? Like, that's such a good. It's so. It's like breathtaking. Like, but like, it's above breathtaking. It's selling your daughter to One Direction worthy. Like, like when I mentioned the sharing a bed trope, the whole like waking up from a nightmare and then the other one like comforts you, like you hug and then you wake up in each other's arms. It's like so good. Like, what do you mean you're patching up his wounds? Awooga. It's so good. Next up is an historical AU. Okay, so that's tricky. I feel like it's a very tricky thing. Like, I don't think honestly if it was a Percy Jackson historical, I wouldn't like it, and I love Percy Jackson. But like if it was like a Boys Over Flowers, like K drama, kind of like okay, I keep using One Direction, but that was like the most popular form of like fan fiction in middle school. So like think of it like Harry Styles, Niall Horan, Zayn, Niall. I already said Niall. I'll say Niall again. Niall, Louis, Liam. They were all like lords or barons or princes, and they were all looking for like wives. I feel like that'd be okay, but at the same time, like you heard me say it, it's like it's okay. So I feel like an historical AU would be like bottom of not a sleigh, but not a flop. Ooh, ooh. Okay. I'm okay. I'm doing this from the perspective of me right now, a college student, and I'm doing this in this perspective that everyone who's listening to this is a college student. And that is why I'm going to put high school AU in clutching my pearls and getting a restraining order. What do you mean you want to read about people in high school? In a fan fiction. In a fan fiction. If it was like a normal book and they were in high school, I'd be like, okay, whatever, fine, whatever. But a fan fiction, you're actively seeking out a like minors. I don't care if they're 18. That's still disgusting. Like you're actively searching that out. Leave. Leave the premises. I want you at the very least 100 feet away from me and all schools. Like, please get away from me. A high school AU? Okay, if you're a high schooler and you're looking for a high school AU, I completely understand that. If you're a middle schooler, I understand it even more. But if you are in your grown age of 19 or 18, yeah, I'm saying it, 18, and you're still looking at a high school AU and you're like after high school or like in college, you are disgusting and I would I would do that to you. I'm so sorry. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I don't like guns. Here's another good one. Huddle for warmth. A survival fan fiction and you're like out there in the elements and you're like making your way to a shared destination and you lost your blankets were torn up from the last time you guys camped because you forgot to put the blankets up in the middle of an attack and now your blankets are ruined and you can't get a new blanket until you go into town tomorrow, so you're stuck without blankets in your tents now and you need to stay together for the warmth because it's a cold night. It's earth shattering. I think you guys can tell it's kind of earth shattering to me. It's just a level of angst. Because, like, you would think, like, there'd be a cute version of Huddle for Warmth, but every single person goes for the AC version of Huddle for Warmth. No one's just doing it to do it. It has to be, like, some internal turmoil. Like, well, it's like a, up against his body. I feel his warmth spreading into my cheek and into my heart. I think in other circumstances, I could see this happening. Us together. If we weren't warriors from separate teams, from some separate worlds, from separate lives, could this have worked? Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. How is my narrator voice, BT Dubs? Anyway, next up is humor. Sorry. Automatically mediocre. I don't have to explain myself to you, okay? Humor, like, it's only gonna be funny. Well, then that's what a crack fic is for. Like people who write humor fics just are not as funny as they think they are. Next is First Kiss. Hmm. Could be good. Could be bad. Could be good. Could be bad. I'm sorry. Like I don't. I don't know. I don't know really. So I'm gonna put. Oh. Actually, no. Uh huh. Okay. It's gonna be. Uh huh. Okay. Because especially at my grown age, even though I've never been kissed. Story of my life, getting you home. Never been kissed, but I feel like with especially with like never been kiss fics, I feel like it's not like the writer's intent for this, but like it always feels kind of like predatory, but not like in an age way, but like in like an innocence way. Because like you know how society like values women for being youthful and ageless. I think it's kind of like that. like the more experienced guy gives you your first kiss. I feel like the first sex is like kind of like more acceptable than the first kiss. Like what is happening? Like I think it's kind of weird. It's like borderline like preying on someone's innocence, and like to each their own, I guess, but like mm, gotta watch out for you a little bit, you know? I'm a little scared of you. Next up is In Vino Veritas. Veritas. In Vino Veritas. In Vino Veritas. I think that's Latin. Veritas. Vino. Yeah, I think vino. Vino is Latin. So in vino veritas is, I'm gonna say that in an American accent because who cares? Everyone's like, oh, it's mozzarella, not mozzarella. It's mozzarella, not mozzarella. What do you mean? It is mozzarella. It is mozzarella, mozzarella, whatever you want to say. Because guess what? You're just saying mozzarella with an Italian accent. And may I remind you, Italian Americans, half the time, they're terrible Italian accents. You think you sound like your Nona, but you don't sound like your Nona. I'm sorry to break it to you. You think you sound like your Nona when you're saying bruschetta or mozzarella. You do not sound like you sound like a knockoff Mario. I'm so sorry. Anyway, I don't like drunken confessions. Ooh, no, no, no. No, Love Rosie did that one really well. Maybe I do. Okay, I think blue orbs. I think it's like a solid high middle blue orbs. I feel like a lot of fan fictions had the scene where the girl's like at the party and he's like stop drinking and she's like no you don't control me, and she gets so drunk and she's partying around, and then he's like helping her sober up, so he's like walking her home and she's just like I love you. I just like love you so much. And he's like, my God, just like drink some water. Like, you don't know what you're saying. And she's like, no, you don't know what I'm saying. I love you so much. And like, I just don't get why you can't love me back. Like, that's exactly like, it's just so good. But also, like, I'm not actively, it's like a treat. Like, I'm not actively seeking it out, but if it's in a fiction, the more the merrier, you know? Next up is a magic AU, and honestly, as a kid who used to pretend that she had powers, like I was obsessed with like Wizardly Place, and I was obsessed with like Percy Jackson and stuff like that. Like I was really into the idea of actually having magic powers. I'm also a witch now. I don't know if that correlates, but I love a good magic AU. Like yes, yeah, What do you mean you don't want to see Harry Styles in a Magic AU where you're rivaling like warlocks? He's a warlock and you're a witch, and you're rivals, and you're like battling to be the most powerful magic holder. Like that sounds so epic. And that's an enemies to lovers I would stand by. That'd be like, ooh, okay. So how I'd combine a magic AU has to be earth shattering. Because when it's really good, it makes up for the times where it's really bad. And I feel like a magic AU, like the perfect combination of tropes for a magic AU would have to be magic AU, obviously. Hurt comfort, enemies to lovers. Did we get to one yet? No, we didn't get to it yet. But slow burn, and then fairy tale. It has to be all those. It can't be a modern magic thing. It has to be a fairy tale. Miscommunications lead to fallout. So many things that you wish I knew. So many walls up I can't break through. I hate miscommunication. I hate a miscommunication trope. I just don't like, I know it's like human, but like I'm trying to escape humans into fictional humans. What do you mean they can't just talk to each other? Like at some point it's like okay. Like especially with like a trope that's coming up like mutual pining. But like genuine miscommunications, like one person thinks that they're being cheated on and they just refuse to like confront the person that they think is cheating on them, but also like resents the person. Like, if you're so certain he's not gonna tell you that he's cheating on you, why are you so mad that he isn't? Like, I get that you why I get why you're mad, but I don't get why you're so as mad like as you are. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Next up is a miscommunication. Miscommunication. Oh no, that's the one we're talking about right now. I am delusional. Where is my mind? Where is my mind? By the Pixies. The Pixies? No, I think that's the Cure. No, I think it's the Pixies. Wait, I don't wanna embarrass myself. Wait, let me look it up. Way out along the park, yeah. Seven little fish, and I told you so, so I did. It's the Pixies. I was right. I'm a genius. Anyway, where's my mind? Okay. I think miscommunication has to go into not a sleigh, but no, oh no, it's a flop to me. It's gonna be high, okay. So like, it's like cusping on like how like it's not a sleigh but not a flop, but it's also just like I don't like them. And if you like them, I have a feeling that you are just a person that miscommunicates a lot and you just want to like you want to relate to the characters, and I just don't vibe with that. Like I hate people who can't communicate. I'm so sorry. Just like use your words. Next up is missing scenes. Okay, I need to be like I need a clarification on missing scenes trope. Is it like scenes in between the actual the actual thing? Some fandoms with visual sources use the phrase missing scene for stories set during a particular episode of the source text, but not within the actual. There you go. Okay, so missing fic, like missing scene fic, is gonna be like it wasn't aired or it wasn't written in the book, but like it fills in a gap. And honestly, I love that. Ooh, I love when they fix gaps. I love that. It's gonna have to be earth shattering because sometimes I do want to know the scene that I missed, and I'm supposed to just like make it up. Like it's different for everybody. You have to make it. No, I want someone to tell me. I've been watching, especially if it's a show, if it's especially it's a show. If you already established that you can't tell the story within the 1 hour to 4 hour frame of a normal movie, that you need to make it a series, you might as well add the scene. If not now, at least later on down the line. Like, why are you making me use my imagination? This is the reason why I want to see it on the screen so I can see it. So, like, BFFR, please. Next up is mine mutual pining, and that's automatically I'd sell my daughter One Direction for that. I love a good mutual pining because that's the type of miscommunication that I genuinely can like stand behind, will support, and will love. Because it's just like the I don't want to ruin our friendship, but they're both like thinking that. Or it's they both think that each other hates them so much, so they're keeping up the act of the hatred, but in reality they're in love. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. It's so good. Like I don't think y'all get it. I'm like I don't think you get it. You don't get it. You just don't understand me. It's just so good. Next up is sex pollen. Sex pollen. Okay, this is gonna be okay. So I have to hold the mic close to me for this. Okay. So sex pollen is a very very niche version of fan fiction where it's kind of like alien sauce. Like something is in the air that makes people like crazy. Like people want to have and do the do so bad. Like that is exactly how it is. Like that's how it is. It's just cuckoo crazy. I I feel like it kind of coincides with another trope that actually I'll move it forward. I'll move it forward so we can talk about them at the same time. I don't know why I haven't been doing that. We're an hour 30. We're like a movie's long into this, and I don't know why I didn't think of just moving it forward. So I'll be rating sex pollen and PWP at the same time. And PWP is porn with plot. So it's just like glorified porn. So think Absolution, the Dark Harry fic. It's pretty much just porn with like with a plot. With a plot. And I think that's like sex pollen is kind of one of the ways that they add a plot to the S the XEX. And honestly, for PWP, I I don't want to. Do I really want to put this on the internet? Yeah, I'd sell my daughter to One Direction for a really good PWP. Because sometimes you just need like toe curling. No, that's no, that's so gross. That was so nasty. Just no. It's just like sometimes it's good. No, I'll put it in like low earth shattering. Yeah. Yeah. I think that makes my heart feel better. It just works better. Like a really good PWP. Like I don't even want. I like some like I don't think there's like a there's like a miss um interpretation that like everyone who's reading PWP is doing it to like get off. Some people just like find it interesting to read. Like I know some people who actually just like genuinely find it interesting to read about that stuff because like I know asexual people who are like, yeah, I just like reading it. I think it's so like intriguing. But sex pollen, I'm clutching my pearls because to me, I don't know if I'm just like crazy, but to me, sex pollen kind of like it eludes the same like energy as roofies to me because it's like it makes people like sex pollen is like uncontrollably horny. Like you can't like not be like you have to have. And it kind of just like it's like manipulative because like sometimes I thought I was getting really into like an alien type of fan fiction and then I found out it was a horny one and I was like, oh, okay, I mean it's like a humanoid type, so I guess I can like close my eyes. But then it like sex pollen happened, and then it was like, oh, okay, so he's like taking advantage of his like super alien powers to get with her. That's gross. So I think sex pollen is a little too close to non-consent to me, especially because it's like non-consent on both parties. So they're both being violated most of the time. So I don't like that. Next up is pregnancy fic. No. Clutching my pearls, getting a restraining order. Um, the second I read, the second I read, when I woke up in the morning, I felt sick. I rushed to the bathroom and puked out my guts. It must have been the food. I, I, I threatened, I threatened to run away. I read those words. Automatically, I'm 11 and I'm threatening to run away in my bright orange JanSport backpack that I got because orange was the color of the backpack that Katniss grabbed in the first Hunger Games. Like, I was so ready just to leave. Like, I couldn't do it. I hate, I hate that. I hate the. Why are you in the hospital today? Well, I fell down. Okay, well, how long have you known that you were pregnant? What? No, I think you're mistaken. I'm not pregnant. Have you been experiencing any morning sickness? I mean, yesterday I threw up, but I think it was because I had something bad for dinner. Well, did anyone else that had the same dinner throw up? No. Well, then, I'm sorry to tell this to you. You're pregnant. Oh, how dare you jump that onto me? It's not the worst of the worst. I hate. I'm clutching my pearls and I'm asking for a restraining order. I It's like I'm getting blue balled emotionally. Like I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna end up happily ever after. Boom, she gets pregnant. End yourself. End yourself now. Uh-huh. I love a good royalty AU. Royalty AU is next. I think it's earth shattering. It is a solid earth shattering, right in the middle. I just think like it's so satisfying. Like the whole like you're all kings and queens or princes and princesses or lords and ladies and blah 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 blah. It's just like there's a level of angst to it, especially if it's like mixed in with like an historical AU, and it's kind of like gender roles, duty to my family and my kingdom, but also to my heart. It's so good. It's earth shattering. Next up is slow burn. Now, slow burn is when it's really good. When it's good, and it makes up for all the times where slow burns are either too slow or too fast. It's just like a really good one is gonna be the best piece of fiction you're gonna touch in years. And because of that, slow burn's gonna have to take sharing a bed spot as number one. I'd sell my daughter to One Direction. It's just so like finger looking good. It's Louisiana fast. It's like finger licking, jaw dropping, awe inducing. It's just so good. Oh, I'm gonna put okay. Time loops, time loop fanfictions. I just don't like the whole. I get a second chance. If their power is rewinding time, I like that because it's a bit better. It's a bit more complex narrative wise. But I think that time loops are just so like we get it. Groundhog's Day, like no one does anything new or inspiring about like like time loops. And another thing about time loops is a lot of time loops are just like manipulative. Like he's like learning through like messing up time and time again all of her interests just for her to fall in love with you. I think that's weird. And I think it's like the reason why I can differentiate that between that and like when people like internet stalk someone is because internet stalking, though, like for some people that's a bit like line crossy, it's legal. Like most people who internet stalk, me included, it's all things you can legally access. You can legally access your voting not your voting records, your political affiliation. You can easily find your um job. Like it's very easy to find things like that. And it may sound like stalkerish or creepy, but I think as long as you're not using it like for wrong, I think there's nothing wrong with it. Like people hire PIs, and I don't think PIs do anything illegal because it's their job to go research deep into people. If someone's friend decided to be a free PI for their other friend just to see what that the person they're gonna go on a Tinder date with isn't a killer, yeah, I think it's okay. I got a little too passionate about that. Oh my god, I'm okay. Oh, okay. I'm gonna try to finish it up quickly because I don't want this to be a 2-hour podcast. I don't want to do that to you guys. So next up is a soulmate AU. I love a good soulmate AU. Soulmate AU. Okay, so it has to be very specific. So I'm gonna put it into blue orbs. It's almost earth shattering. So it's gonna be very top blue orbs. But I just don't think a lot of people can do it. Like in my head, and I think in everyone's heads, you can see the perfect way to make a soulmate AU. Like think oh my god. Think like The Good Place, that show. It was so good. And they did the soulmate thing, and it worked so well. Oh my god. When Percy lost his memory and the one thing he remembered wasn't his mom, wasn't the fact that he was the son of Poseidon, but it was Annabeth's name. He just knew it was an important name to him. That is earth shattering. That is amazing. That is a perfect way to do soulmates, and that's I'm gonna put it high blue orbs. Next up is the love triangle. Okay. So originally, I was gonna say I'd sell my daughter to One Direction for that, and then I was gonna say earth shattering, but then I remember one thing. Love triangles are usually nowadays, at least, love, 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 like arrows because it's two people for one person. But like a true love triangle is one person loves the other person, but the other person loves this person, but that person is in love with that person. It's so good. 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 I love a good triangle. Like Jenny is in love with Maeve, but Maeve is in love with Cat, but Cat's in love with Jenny. So Jenny, Cat, and Maeve are like in a loop. Oh, I love those. Oh, I love those. I love those. I love those so much. But I think I'm going to have to put them in blue orbs because I just don't think it's like low blue orbs because some like I think love triangles are just too repetitive now. Like we've had Edward and Jacob. We've had Peta and Gale. And the thing is with Peta and Gale, um Edward and Jacob, it was never like it was never actually a fair triangle. It was never a fair triangle because it was never going to be Jacob. We know like as team Edward, team Jacob for the gay people out there, it isn't like who's better for Bella, it's who they want. And none of them are better for Bella, but technically Edward is because at least she wants him. Like it was never gonna be Jacob. And for Peta and Gale, as much as people are like, "Oh, it could have been Gale until the third book," no, it never was gonna be Gale. From the beginning, she's known Gale her whole life, and she never thought of him that way. When he would bring up wanting to run away together, she'd be like, "No, like I love my sister and my mom too much." Like it was never gonna be him. And Peta understood that to Katniss, like family was everything, and that's why it was always gonna be Peta. Like it's just people don't know how to do like a good, juicy, new, refreshing love triangle, and that's why it's a snore fest to me. Next up is unhappy endings, and guess what? I'm gonna put it in high. Okay, because I don't have anything against them except for the fact that they ruin my life, and I end the day wanting to question everything, and not wanting to exist anymore and move a muscle in my body because I don't like unhappy endings. I'm sorry. I hate when things end badly. I like when things end with a bad taste in my mouth. But like every single unhappy ending I've ever read has left me feeling unsatisfied. And I feel like if the unhappy ending left me satisfied, I'd be okay with it. But it's just not. It never does. And it just hurts. It just hurts. Oh, and then okay, we're on the last one, guys. And then when I'm done, we're gonna go through every single one, just like without like explaining them. I'm just gonna say them because I don't want this to become a 2-hour episode because I'm not gonna edit any of this down. All the pauses are gonna stay in. So next up, the final one is unrequited love. It's earth shattering. It's top earth shattering. It's so good. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And like that, unrequited love and um unhappy ending, that can work. That can work. So let's get started because this is the final ranking. Ranks are closed. So I'm sorry. Drop the bass, me and the bass get. The radio says speed it up. Okay. So I'd sell. Oh no, we'll start from the very bottom. Clutching my pearls and getting a restraining order against high school AUs, body swaps, sex pollen, and pregnancy fix. Okay. To unhappy endings, miscommunication, general fictions, first kiss, baby fix, and time loops. Not a sleigh, but like not a flop goes to coffee shop AU, ABO, amnesia fic, arranged marriage, crossover, historical AU, humor. Blue Orbs goes to Soulmate AU, Fairy Tale AU, Crackfic, Invino Veratas, Canon Divergence, Angst, Fluff, Major Character Death, and Love Triangles. Earth Shattering goes to Unrequited Love at number 1, followed up by Enemies to Lovers, Huddle for Warmth, Bang or Die, Fix It Fiction, Royalty AU, Established Relationship, Magic AU, Missing Scenes, PWP. And then the cream of the crop, the pièce de la résistance, the most amazing part of fanfiction. I'd sell my daughter to One Direction for these tropes. And the number 1 spot goes to Slow Burn, followed by Sharing a Bed and Fake Relationships. College AU, Dark Fix, Friends to Lovers, Hurt Comfort, and finally, Mutual Pining. That is it. That took so long. I'm so sorry. This is going to be a long podcast. The last one was what? 43 minutes? This is going to be jarring. People are going to see this and be like, this bitch talks a lot. Did she not take any break? Did she edit this down? This is really no. I'm not doing any editing. The most I'm gonna do is extend the graphic of the podcast name. That's the best I'm gonna do. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So yeah. My name is Samantha Kaye. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. Go to the comments below to find my card so you can find my Instagram, my other YouTube channel, my Twitch, my TikTok, my TikTok's almost at 10K, guys, so that's super exciting. Thank you so much for listening, and again, who decided to give me this mic? Whoever let me win the $100 Amazon gift card for the survey for my college last semester really messed up.